This is Boonville, Mississippi, and across the road there, that building was formerly the Vaughn Theatre, and Elvis played here on Tuesday 3rd of January 1956. There is a billboard out there that's got 1955 for some reason, so whether that was just a misprint or whether that's a reproduction and they've put the incorrect date on there, but it was January 3rd 1956 that Elvis actually played here, and supporting Elvis that day was Johnny Cash. It's now a restaurant called Headquarters at Vaughn Theatre. It's a funny shape on this one actually, it comes through a V in the corner, but on the side here was what would formerly have been what they said the coloured entrance to the theatre. As with most theatres, they probably then directed upstairs to the balcony, but the main white entrance then would have been this part here. So the ticket office would have been possibly on this wall where the sign is, or possibly just where that window on the right and left of the doors are, one of them. But just to put into context, of course 1956 would be a massive year for Elvis, but it wasn't Tuesday 3rd of January, certainly wasn't, he wasn't at that point yet. So this date on Tuesday was actually the second date of a 5-day tour, Monday to Friday, that Bob Neal had arranged. This area of North Mississippi was a stronghold for Bob Neal. His WMPS radio station reached down into North Mississippi, so he would have been a known personality in these parts, so that's the reason that Elvis played so many dates in 55 around this area. Of course this would have been one of the last mini tours that Bob Neal arranged. A week after playing the Vaughn Theatre in Boonville, Elvis was here on McGavock Street in Nashville for his first RCA recording session on January 10th 1956, where of course he laid down his, well, the first song was I Got a Woman, the Ray Charles song, and he followed that up with Heartbreak Hotel, the song that Mabel and Axton had presented to him at the Andrew Jackson Hotel 2 months before. And he also recorded Money Honey, and then the following night, Wednesday 11th of January, Elvis was back at the studio to record I Was the One and I'm Counting on You, and Chet Atkins, the producer, had brought in backup singers for that second session. Elvis had wanted the Jordanaires, but maybe Chet Atkins perhaps not quite anticipating the star that Elvis would become, compromised by bringing in Ben and Brock Spear, from two members from the Spear family, who RCA had also recently signed to the label, so Chet Atkins brought them in, maybe a bit cheaper than the Jordanaires, but he did bring in Gordon Stoker from the Jordanaires, so that was the three backup singers for that second date on the 11th of January. And the studios was actually the Methodist Radio, Film and TV Commission. Probably got the three the wrong way round, but the building actually stood across the road there, the drop pavement here, and just beyond the cars down there is still the same as they were back in 1956. .34 Audubon Drive. I know they are in the middle of redoing it. They did catch fire 2017. There was a fire with the renovation work they were doing. I don't think the mailbox has gone altogether now. First couple of times I had the mailbox with the mailbox with a number, then the number was pinched. Now it looks like the whole mailbox is the whole mailbox is gone now. But this was Presley's home, purchased in March 1956. That there was Elvis's bedroom. This was Saturday the 3rd of March 1956 when Elvis paid a $500 deposit on the house here, Audubon Drive. This was a massive step up for the Presleys. This was an affluent area. As you can see, the houses are much nicer houses than where he'd come from. On the 12th of March, just over a week later, the Presleys signed the paperwork and completed the purchase of Audubon for $29,500. But surprisingly, well, not surprisingly really, Elvis didn't really get to spend that much time here in Audubon. He had a really busy year ahead of him. The next two appearances on the Dorsey Brothers stage show while he was living here, in fact just a week after completing the house sale. There was a tour before then flying to California, to San Diego, for the taping of the Milton Berle show in April on the USS Hancock. Elvis was back here on McGavock Street in Nashville. I flew in from Amarillo for April 14th, 1956, where he had some engine trouble on the way in, and he maybe through bad nerves or whatever, he only managed to record the one track, I Want You, I Need You, I Love You. Not one of his strongest tracks, and it was a disappointing follow-up in the UK especially, where it only reached number 14 in the charts. But I suppose that any disappointment Elvis himself may have felt with the track may have been tempered by the fact he was presented with his first gold record for Heartbreak Hotel, which he'd recorded 3 months earlier here at the studios. He was presented with the gold disc here on that April 14th 1956, and that was the last time Elvis recorded here at the McGavock Street Studios. Next time he recorded in Nashville, of course, the new RCA studio had been built up in what is now Music Row, and that's where Elvis was next in Nashville to record on June 10th 1958. This building here, personal interest of me as well, was the Everly Brothers actually recorded Bye Bye Love and Wake Up Little Susie here at this McGavock Street RCA studio. The Everlys weren't on RCA Records, they were Cadence record label recording stars at the time. Well, stars that Bye Bye Love was actually the first hit. They followed that up with Wake Up Little Susie, and they recorded their first album before they too transferred the recordings to the RCA studio with All I Have to Do Is Dream and most of the tracks that followed.